Greetings, everyone. This is Arletta coming live and direct from Arletta Unleashed. Um, this is my second take. My wireless have been working great on my laptop, and then it just stopped. And so I was trying to record earlier, and it didn't finish recording it. I need to go and make sure my hair looking all right. And so I'm back, and I'm trying to do this again. So hopefully it goes through. So anyway, what's up with y'all? Glad to be back. It's been like 2 days. And the topic for tonight is metamorphosis. And the source of my inspiration for that was I was talking to my sister earlier, and she had said that my brother in law had made this comment about me. And he was like, you know what? Arletta must really be alien. He's like, she really changed more than anybody that I know. And I was cracking up laughing. And my sister's like, you know what, Arlette, if you were to sit there and look at how I was when I was a little girl, and then how I was as a teenager, and then how I was as a young woman, like when I first started college, and then when I was out of school sick, and then when I went back, and then all of the changes in different, she said, you've had even totally different types of personalities and worldviews and everything, and very distinct ones at that. And that is very true. And I was like, yeah, she said, you change more and more completely than anybody else that I know. So people, depending on what era that they knew me in, know totally different Arlettas. And oftentimes there is some continuity in that, but there isn't, because there were times in my life when I never was when I used to write, but I was not a poet. There are times in my life when I wasn't a designer, or I didn't really do fashion, or that I wasn't an entertainer. There are times in my life when I wasn't very spiritual, nor was I very sensual. Um, I mean, I literally went from one end of the spectrum being a totally devout Muslim to being a total hedonist. And, it was like this total swing to the other side of the spectrum. And so many other things, variations in between. I started out pursuing a career in theoretical astrophysics and wind up being right now where I am dedicated to never having a career. So, anyway, so I'm talking about this metamorphosis, and um, after having this reading from the same sister, the spirit had told me a couple of things, and so I've been doing those. So what I was told was that I needed to go, and I had mentioned this in another post, integrate my masculine and my feminine energy, and stop trying to put limitations on that. Really go into the more action mode, but really embrace that, because it's like I was more, I was kind of ashamed of me and my propensity towards utilizing the masculine energy, or my masculine energy, because I was just more comfortable with that. And the feminine energy left too many vulnerabilities, or I didn't feel safe in that space. Um, and then I was told a couple of things. I was told that I needed to stop placing limitations on what I chose to do and to not do. There's a number of things that we don't do just because we were taught that they aren't right. And she was like, you need to do whatever hell you want to do. That's what my sister's guide told me. And don't care about what is supposedly right. You just need to do what you want. And she even told me that I may be one of those individuals where I'm a person who, I've never been one who liked to go and talk to a whole bunch of different brothers at the same time. That's just not interesting to me. And if I talk to somebody, I generally talk to them for a while at least, if I find them interesting enough. But she said marriage may or may not be for you. She said you might go and have long-term committed relationships. They might be 5 to 7 years or something like that. But because I do grow so much and change so drastically, she said just play it by ear. And she also told me that I didn't need to be so focused on maintaining relationships. She was like, if you're constantly evolving and changing and you're outgrowing a relationship, just let it follow its natural course. It's not like you have to consciously go and end something. But if something is coming to an end or it's evolving or you're going down different paths, then just let it be and don't try to hold on to it artificially. Because I found myself doing that just out of a sense of, I'm abandoning a friend. And no, it's just like we're just not on the same page with anything. And so there's no point in our interaction. But the most important thing, and I think that's the most liberating, is have always prided myself on being extraordinarily diplomatic. Of never getting angry, of really not losing my cool. Um, Not arguing with people, and also of not being authentic and expressing how I feel, especially if it was difficult to say or something they may not like, or if it was an argument or something that may hurt their feelings or something I just thought they didn't want to hear. I always try to tell people what I thought they wanted to hear, so if they didn't want to hear. And so she was like, oh no, it is time for you to express your mind. And the other thing too is I know that as females, we do one or two things. We are taught that we need to do everything to keep our man, so we should make sure that we never try to run him away. Because there's always this other female waiting in the wings for him. We don't appreciate him. And on the other hand, when we do go and express ourselves, argue with them, it's like we wait until we're so frustrated and so upset and so hurt and so fed up that we just go off on a deep end and just do crazy, horrible, very hurtful, very demeaning, very demasculizing type teardowns, when a sister just go all out and just try to strip away a brother's masculinity. And either one of those places are not good places to be. How about a happy medium? So for me, I would just not tell you what to do. I'll just leave. That's how I ended my marriage. It was just like, I attempted, not really, but I suppose I made attempts to go and express my discontent and, discuss some possible solutions. And then when it had gotten too much, I was like, oh, this is it. It's over with. And then that was it. There was nothing left to discuss. And I left it and I never looked back. And in retrospect, that was what I needed to do in that particular situation because for years and years and years, I was still desperately in love with my ex. But I never went back to him. And you could ask anybody who know me, it was none of that. So now it's time for me to express myself, to tell people what I think. And so I had mentioned a couple of posts ago about my friend, the pimp, right? And how outrageous he is. He just, gets off of this, right? And so me in old Arletta, she would just kind of ignore it or just not talk to him or avoid him. And I hadn't talked to him in a long time. He called me a couple of times. I just wasn't in the mood. But Spirit told me, my sister's guide told me, you need to talk to him. He pisses you off. He makes you get loud. He talks crazy to you. You need to get comfortable expressing yourself for the whole gamut of expression, whether it's sadness or pain or anger or rage or happiness or joy. I'm all about happiness and joy and peace and contentment and satisfaction, but I don't allow myself to get angry. And that's not healthy because that doesn't mean I don't get angry. I just don't tell nobody. So when he called me today, I answered the phone and we had a nice, very fun, very entertaining exchange. And it felt so liberating to tell a man, especially a man who's crazy as him and outrageous as him, exactly what I thought. And it wasn't from a place of like negativity or insecurity or me trying to prove like I'm smarter or whatever. It was just like this is just what I thought, and so he was having as much fun as I was. It was a fun exchange. I would never take him serious. I would never give him the opportunity to get to know me any more than occasionally talk to me over the phone because he doesn't offer anything. He's a pimp. What can he do for me? But the entertainment part, it was pretty good. So this metamorphosis thing. and time's about to end.